Vancouver has long marketed itself as a city where glass towers meet snow-capped mountains and oceanfront sunsets. Yet in 2025-2026, that identity is being tested like never before. As cranes dominate the skyline and housing demand surges, the city faces a defining question. Can it grow without losing the very natural beauty that made it globally iconic? At the heart of this tension is the housing crisis. In late 2025, Vancouver City Council approved measures to accelerate the construction of over 20,000 homes, aiming to address affordability and population growth. At the same time, federal and provincial investments continue to pour billions into housing initiatives targeting vulnerable populations. For millennials, many of whom feel locked out of home ownership, this expansion is not optional, it is necessary. But building more homes often means increasing density, rezoning neighborhoods, and inevitably transforming the city's physical and environmental character. This transformation is now being formalized through Vancouver's newly approved citywide Official Development Plan, ODP, in March 2026, a 30-year framework guiding land use, density, and sustainability. The plan emphasizes complete neighborhoods where people can live, work, and access amenities without relying heavily on cars. On paper, this sounds like a win-win. Less urban sprawl, fewer emissions, and more efficient land use. But in practice, it raises concerns about how much density is too much and who gets to decide. The skyline itself tells part of the story. Vancouver is no longer just a city of modest glass towers. It is pushing towards super tall buildings, including proposals exceeding 300 meters, alongside large-scale redevelopments like Oakridge Park, set to reopen in 2026 as a mixed-use urban hub. Across Metro Vancouver, projects like Surrey's King George Hub and the newly opened Pattullo Bridge replacement signal a broader regional shift toward transit-oriented, high-density living. These developments are often framed as sustainable solutions, concentrating growth near transit and reducing car dependency. But they also contribute to the visual and ecological reshaping of the region. Environmental sustainability remains a central pillar of Vancouver's planning philosophy. Updated building bylaws introduced in 2025 require stricter energy efficiency and carbon reduction standards, aligning with the city's long-term goal of becoming a zero-carbon urban environment. The Vancouver Plan even outlines a 100-year ecological vision focused on restoring ecosystems, expanding green space, and protecting waterways. From a scholarly perspective, this aligns with broader research showing that energy-efficient retrofits and green buildings can significantly reduce emissions in urban environments. However, contradictions are emerging. Critics argue that recent municipal budget decisions, such as cuts to sustainability and planning departments, risk undermining decades of environmental leadership. At the same time, housing starts have slowed slightly in British Columbia, highlighting the economic challenges of building quickly while maintaining high environmental standards. In other words, Vancouver is trying to build faster, cheaper, and greener all at once, a combination that is difficult to sustain. Beyond policy and infrastructure, public sentiment plays a crucial role in shaping the debate. On platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit, Vancouver residents, especially millennials, frequently discuss the loss of old Vancouver. Viral posts often contrast images of tree-lined neighborhoods and unobstructed mountain views with construction-heavy skylines and luxury high-rises. At the same time, other users advocate for densification, arguing that preserving exclusivity in low-density neighborhoods contributes to inequality and displacement. This digital discourse reflects a deeper cultural divide: nostalgia versus necessity, Environmental activism also underscores the stakes. Protests such as the 2025 Walbran Valley blockade against old-growth logging demonstrate a broader provincial commitment to protecting natural ecosystems, even as urban areas expand. For many Vancouverites, the fight to preserve forests, shorelines, and biodiversity is inseparable from the city's identity. The challenge lies in translating that ethos into urban development decisions. Ultimately, Vancouver's struggle is not unique, but it is particularly visible. Few cities are as geographically constrained, environmentally rich, and economically pressured all at once. The years 2025-2026 mark a turning point. Major policy frameworks are being implemented, large-scale developments are nearing completion, and public debate is intensifying ahead of the 2026 municipal election. Balancing natural beauty with rapid urban development is not a problem with a final solution. It is an ongoing negotiation. Vancouver's future will depend on whether it can maintain its forests, shorelines, and livability while embracing the density required of a global city. For millennials navigating this reality, the question is deeply personal. Will Vancouver remain a place they can afford to live in and still recognize?